are pending. Athens police are still searching for the suspect involved in robbing the Citizens Bank on Stimson Avenue almost 2 weeks ago. The suspect entered the bank and jumped the counter, threatening employees with what appeared to be a dark-colored handgun. After taking money, the suspect fled the bank on foot.
We increased the patrols, and we actually work very hard to try to get these cases solved, and hopefully that'll be a deterrent for anyone else thinking about.
Anyone with any information regarding these robberies should contact the Athens Police Department at 740-593-6633. Nonpartisan climate group Defend Our Future held a press conference today at Ohio University. It's the group's first year in Athens, and their focus is how budget cuts in the Environmental Protection Agency could affect Athens. Defend Our Future intern Georgia Goodell says the group tries to get young people involved.
It's like over 80% of millennials agree that climate change is a huge issue and a future issue that's going to affect our children and going to affect us. You know, it's something we see with these hurricanes and everything. So it's.
Well, it's been another hot day today. Really, those temperatures well above average for this time of year, and you see currently it's still 75 degrees out there with mostly sunny skies. This wind's fairly light out of the south and east, about 2 miles per hour, and it's very dry with that dew point sitting around 40 degrees, which that humidity shows that with only 26%. So, like I said, very, very dry. And that pressure by a dominating high pressure is very, very high at 30.30 inches. And across the region, temperatures are still fairly warm around here. And with Columbus, 76 degrees right now. Also in Jackson, 76 degrees. A little cooler over near Cambridge and, let's say, New Martinsville at 74 and 73. And overall, it's just been a fairly sunny day outside with those high, thin clouds. And for the next couple of hours, the temperatures are going to drop down rather quickly because by 7 o'clock, 74 degrees. By 8 o'clock, 65. And then by 9 o'clock, we're going to look at 59 degrees with clear and cooling conditions. And what we're expecting for the next couple of days is pretty much the same thing. Cold mornings and warm afternoons. Mainly dry this week, but the 7-day forecast does show some chances of rain. We'll have more details on that here in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Ethan. I'm looking forward to another nice day tomorrow.
Yep, indeed.
Las Vegas police are now saying 58 people are dead and 515 wounded in Las Vegas overnight after a man opened fire above an outdoor music festival. Police have identified the gunman as 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. Omar Jimenez is in Las Vegas with the latest.
Stories of survival in Las Vegas during the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history.
Then the guy down in front of us about 10 feet up goes down. The guy to the right of him about 3 feet over goes down.
What should have been a night of fun turned into a night of terror.
Somebody just started running saying, oh my gosh, he's shot. And there's people in front of us that were getting shot, and you were seeing, as you're hearing the shots going off, you were hearing just them hit the ground. I mean, there's the guy in front of us who's running, got shot in his back. And he was still running.
Bullets rained down from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort onto a crowd of about 22,000.
We had to cross the field where the people were getting shot. Every time we heard shots, we would hit the ground and just stay there until they would stop for about 30, 45 seconds, and then we would run as fast as we could. And we just thought we were going to die. There's no other thing. I thought the shooting would never end.
Survivors shocked but grateful to be alive.
You don't believe you'll ever be a part of now what's going down as the largest massive shooting on our grounds. You don't think you'd be a part of it.
In Las Vegas, I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
President Trump addressed the nation this afternoon. He called the shooting in Vegas an act of pure evil and plans to visit the city on Wednesday.
Our unity cannot be shattered by evil. Our bonds cannot be broken by violence. And though we feel such great anger at the senseless murder of our fellow citizens, it is our love that defines us today.
What you're seeing on your screen here is the room where police say Paddock opened fire. This is the outside of the Mandalay Bay Hotel and the missing window on the 32nd floor. The hotel sits across the street from the resort. Las Vegas police say authorities found at least 17 rifles in Paddock's room, adding that he had been at the room since September 28th. Paddock's brother Eric says Paddock has never even drawn a gun before.
Never. He had a couple of handguns, I think. He had a safe with a couple of handguns. He might have had one long rifle, but he didn't have any. I mean, he had no automatic weapons that I knew of at any time. There's no. It just makes no sense.
Nevada does not have a law against carrying firearms, including automatic weapons. Ohio is traditionally an open carry state. However, to own machine guns, you must properly register a dangerous ordinance with the federal government. Under Ohio law, no one can own dangerous ordinance without a permit or license from your local sheriff or police chief. The Vegas shooting has prompted many to ask questions about what needs to be done about gun regulation within the country. Many citizens are asking Congress to pass laws to help prevent dangerous guns from falling into the wrong hands. One local resident says he hopes this will bring the separate parties together in order to come to a decision.
I hope they unite, put the differences like Republican, Democrat aside and just find a way to make everything safer, We shouldn't have to fear going out in the middle of the street anywhere, not necessarily just a big city like Las Vegas, but even here in Athens, we shouldn't have to fear anything. It's been happening for too long.
This is a developing story. Stay with Newswatch for updates throughout the week. A large fight at an Akron nightclub ended with gunshots yesterday. Police say an officer shot and wounded a 21-year-old and a 23-year-old who were threatening people with a gun during the fight outside Czar nightclub. Authorities also say the two fired and missed the officers. Investigators have not released the names of the injured men or the officers involved. NFL players continued to take a knee yesterday, prompting many sports fans to protest, some in heated ways. And two women accused of Kim Jong-nam's murder pleaded not guilty today. That story's still ahead. And in the wake of the shooting in Vegas, President Trump still plans on traveling to Puerto Rico. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like we're having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
President Trump heads to Puerto Rico tomorrow to see the damage from Hurricane Maria for himself. The visit comes as the governor of Puerto Rico says supplies are starting to reach victims, but the island is still in desperate need for help. Natasha Chen has the latest from Puerto Rico.
Nearly 2 weeks after Hurricane Maria slammed Puerto Rico, millions are still struggling with limited access to water, power, and fuel. President Donald Trump is set to visit Tuesday.
We are going to be seeing all of the first responders, the military, FEMA, and frankly, most importantly, we're going to be seeing the people of Puerto Rico. It's been amazing what's been done in a very short period of time on Puerto Rico.
But on the ground, residents are struggling. Officials say only 5% of the island has electricity, and less than half has clean drinking water. Thousands are in shelters. There are some signs of improvement. The governor says the wait time at gas stations has decreased from 6 to 7 hours to less than 1 hour.
There is an indication that these lines are being reduced. We expect more fuel and diesel to be coming in the next couple of days.
Over the weekend, the president took to Twitter to criticize the mayor of San Juan after she pleaded for help and expressed frustrations with the federal response. Some Puerto Ricans, focusing on their own recovery, are disappointed with the tweets.
I think Trump is wrong in criticizing the mayor. I mean, the mayor is reacting to a very chaotic situation. In Puerto Rico, unless you're here, you don't really know what's going on. So I see him reacting. I guess he likes to play this Twitter game.
In San Juan, Puerto Rico, I'm Natasha Chen reporting.
Trump spent part of the weekend blasting San Juan's mayor for her comments about the government's recovery efforts. The two women accused of murdering North Korea leader Kim Jong-un's half-brother pleaded not guilty today. Indonesian Siti Aisyah and Vietnamese Duan Thi Huang arrived early this morning for the first day of their trial in Kuala Lumpur. Authorities say the woman killed Kim Jong-nam at the city's airport back in February by rubbing VX nerve agent on his face. A Kentucky bar held an event to burn NFL jerseys yesterday to protest players kneeling during the national anthem. Although the protests dropped off after last week, most NFL teams continued to show some form of protest. Jake Ryle reports.
Owners of Top 10 Sports Bar in Wilder say there's a time to stand and honor.
My belief personally is that during our national anthem, it's not a time to grandstand for politics. The time to do that is on your own.
Today, National Football League jerseys were set on fire and thrown into a shredder.
We're the ones paying for these games. We're the ones paying to watch these advertising during these games, and it's not okay with us.
Some fans keeping their jerseys, but voicing their opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, I think a lot of Bengals fans tend to bandwagon pretty quick.
Closer to the stadium, Billy Watson is co-owner of Kitty's Sports Bar in downtown.
It's a little bit over the top to me, but you know, they're voicing their opinion, I guess.
His dad spent the last 8 months of World War II in a German prisoner of war camp.
The veterans that made this country great, if it weren't for them, we might not be playing football on Sunday. So if you have a forum or something you stand for, don't do it on the NFL time. Do it on your own time.
With some NFL fans boycotting, we're asking questions to find out if the issue might impact business.
Honestly, the Bengals winning and playing better, I feel like is better for our business. Like if they would have lost today, I think that would have had a bigger impact on our business than this.
Last night's Sunday Night Football ratings went down 5% from last week. The NFL TV rights holders say they have no good options to bring them up with the anthem protests. The Athens streets flooded with colored shirts in the regional walk to end Alzheimer's. Hear a reaction from guest speakers coming next.
And we have temperatures going down tonight in the lower 40s, but warming right back up tomorrow. We'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night, live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Well, good evening and happy Monday, everybody. It's been a very warm day today, and it's still fairly warm outside right now. I'm forecaster Ethan Emery, and you see these temperatures right now, currently still in the mid-70s right now. It's only 6:50 right now, and temperatures, you see right now, 75 degrees here in Athens, 76 over in Columbus, 76 down in Ironton, and 74 in Marietta and Cambridge. A little cooler spots out there towards the east, but overall it's been a fairly warm day, and temperatures made it up to around 78 degrees today. That's about 7 degrees above the average this time of the year here in Athens, and that low, very, very cool morning to start off with, 38 degrees. That's, you see right there, 11 degrees above, or below the normal rather, and the records is only 5 degrees shy of that record set back in 1947, and we didn't even touch the record for the high. But you see though, it's been dry for us, so it's been a good news in terms of pollen, because you see those pollen counts are low to medium, so next couple of days should be pretty nice if you have any allergies, but it'll be warm outside, which could affect the leaves because the fall foliage, the change in colors, you see right here behind me that for this week, from the 2nd through the 8th, that fall foliage is near its peak, and then by next week, we're going to see that fall foliage near its actual peak. Will look out really, really nice outside, especially for homecoming weekend. And the story for the weather overall is just those temps cooling down overnight, and that fog will be developing overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. And yeah, that sunshine's returning for the next couple of days, so those temperatures in the upper 70s for many of us. And tonight's lows, like I said, cool. And those lows down to the lower 40s to maybe upper 40s near Columbus, but 44 here in Athens, 43 over in New Lexington, 46 down in Ripley, and 49 down there in Ironton by the Ohio River. And Athens, 44 degrees with that clear skies, but that fog will develop late with those winds fairly light with that happening there. And all that said, because of this big, massive ridge of high pressure, you see it right there, kind of dominating the whole eastern half of the United States. And that's going to keep out this cold front you see way over here. It's not going to go anywhere because this high pressure is just so dominant. And this will keep our temperatures very warm and very dry for the next couple of days. And so tomorrow morning, pretty cold, so you're going to need your jacket. So 44 degrees for a morning low with that fog lifting early. Like I said, you won't need the coats, but by the afternoon, you won't need them anymore because it'll be very, very warm. With those winds light, and you see throughout the day, by noon, already 74 degrees, and for a high, we're seeing 79 degrees with mainly sunny skies, and across the area you can see some lower 80s on those home thermometers, so 82 over Columbus, 77 in Newark, 80 down in Ripley, and right here in Athens, 79 degrees with that sunny skies, and another warm day ahead. And I know it's a little too early, but for Saturday it's homecoming here in Athens, and homecoming forecast for the Bobcats, 77 degrees with sunshine. Be a little muggy outside for that game, but it'll be a great game, and hopefully we beat Central Michigan. And you see the 7-day forecast does show that those temperatures stay warm for throughout the most of the week. So By Wednesday and Thursday, we're seeing 80s, but over the weekend, upper 70s for those chances of rain on Friday and Sunday. Chelsea, what do you think about that nice warm air coming back in the region?
Thanks, Ethan. It's definitely nice to have all the cool weather back here, especially in the mornings when I'm going on my runs. The Alzheimer's Association hosted a regional walk to end Alzheimer's event yesterday right here in Athens. Local residents gathered by the Eclipse Company store with colored shirts and flower-shaped pinwheels to walk the 3-mile path to support Alzheimer's care and research. According to a press release from the Alzheimer's Association, the disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and there are more than 200,000 people living with the disease in Ohio. Several guest speakers, including Republican Jay Edwards, shared the importance of talking about Alzheimer's to others.
Something that, you could go days without talking about and without knowing about, and we all cross each other's paths, and this isn't a topic of conversation, Alzheimer's every day. But you come here and you see so many people that are affected and have family that are affected that it should be more commonplace, and that's really how we're going to get to the cure of these things.
According to the Alzheimer's Association website, the event reached its funding goal of $20,000 on Sunday. And now a look at sports with Nick.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Orsini. Tonight in sports, we'll highlight one local football player's recognition on the national level. Plus, in the battle for Ohio, find out whether the Bengals or the Browns came away with their first victory of the season. That and more when Newswatch returns. And remember to stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight.
I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Nick Orsini. One local high school football player is making a name for himself around the country. Senior middle linebacker Ronnie Wend is currently ranked 19th in the nation in tackles this season with 100 according to Max Preps. This means he's almost averaging 17 tackles per game. Wend says one reason he's able to do this is because his teammates constantly motivate him by making it a game.
You can't coach heart. He's got a lot of heart. He's 165 pounds. He's not supposed to have 83 tackles as a middle linebacker. But evidently no one's told him that, and we're not going to tell him that.
It's becoming a like competition between me and Yinger. I'm always telling Yinger for locker room, I'll have more tackles than you, and he'll say, "I'll bet you." And it's always a bet between him and Collister, Colt, and it's just everybody motivated to make tackles.
Wend and the Buckeyes will look to continue their dominance this season when they host Wellston this Friday. Now, sticking to the gridiron, the Bengals and Browns faced off in Cleveland in the battle of winless Ohio teams. Both teams were coming off difficult losses last week, but the Bengals were the ones who came out guns blazing. Andy Dalton threw 3 first-half touchdowns, including this one to A.J. Green from 7 yards out. The Browns offense showed signs of potential, but could not complete drives with drop passes and turnovers. Cleveland didn't even get into the end zone until 1 minute and 54 seconds left in the game. The Browns continue the search for their first victory on Sunday when they face the Jets. Now the MLB season is now complete, and it's time to wipe the records clean as the postseason is about to begin. The AL wildcard matchup is between the Yankees and the Twins at Yankee Stadium on Tuesday. The winner faces the Indians. The NL features the Diamondbacks hosting the Colorado Rockies. The winner of that game faces the Los Angeles Dodgers. Other matchups include the Red Sox and the Astros, and the Cubs and the Nationals. The Indians are the favorite to win the American League at 7-4, and the Dodgers to win the NL at 3-2. Now, in a busy weekend for Ohio Bobcats, the football team and women's volleyball, field hockey, and soccer teams were all in action. The football team traveled to Amherst, Massachusetts to take on the Minutemen. Ohio took the close game 58-50, keeping the Minutemen winless on the season. Now, the volleyball team defeated Miami 3-2 on Friday, but lost to the Falcons of Bowling Green 3-1 on Saturday. After losing 8 games in a row, the field hockey team has now won 2 straight after their 2-0 shutout over Central Michigan. And behind stellar defense, Ohio soccer tied Miami in a double overtime no-goal contest in Oxford. Now into regional news. The Ohio High School Athletic Association is searching for younger people to officiate high school athletic events as the current officials grow older. The organization says the number of officials has dropped about 40% since the 2010-2011 school years. The Columbus Dispatch reports the OHSAA has been focusing on recruiting efforts on high school students to find the next generation of officials. OHSAA officiating registrar Ben Faree says various factors have contributed to the decline. Low pay, harassment from fans and coaches, and strenuous schedules lead to the decline. Now, retired official Chris Williams says Ohio's shortage reflects a larger nationwide problem. Now, I'm Nick Orsini, and that is a wrap for sports tonight. Let's send it back over to Ethan for a final look at weather.
Well, thank you, Nick. Well, we reckon that fall pattern where we had those really, really cold mornings and then really warm afternoons, well, that trend continues because tonight we're having lows down into the lower 40s in some places, but tomorrow, look at this, temperatures right back up in the upper 70s to lower 80s in some places. So you see Columbus for a high, 82 degrees there, 78 degrees over in New Lexington, 80 degrees down in Ripley, and here in Athens, 79 degrees. But if you're at home, your home thermometers could reach over 80 degrees. And 7-day forecast does show that this pattern continues for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with those temperatures in the lower 80s. But by Friday, temperatures back down in the upper 70s. But chances of rain do happen on Friday. And then Saturday for the homecoming game, perfect weather for that, 79 degrees there. And then by the end of the weekend, chances of rain come in with temperatures in the lower 80s.
This evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Chelsea Sick. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Buddy, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night, live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit,